yourself. You can make a fortune. If you would have known me at age 25, you would have said, Jim Rohn's a hard worker. If you'd have known me, you'd have said that. I'm the guy, I don't mind coming a little bit early, staying a little bit late. I don't mind that.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Kalpesh Patel, and I'm super excited to be your host and share some ideas, tips, some experiences of mine as well throughout my journey over the last 27 years of network marketing, an industry that I'm absolutely in love with, have been ever since the first time I understood it way back then as a mid-20s young entrepreneur that came from building traditional businesses and excuse me, being good at that. You know, I was a really great businessman in my youth. From a very early age, I started hustling and doing things to move my financial life forward. I'm blessed that I never had to think about getting a job. Well, actually, I'll tell a lie. I had to think about getting a job plenty of times when businesses failed, but I never had to get a job because I had picked up the skills and learnt the skills to survive no matter what, and do that off my own back. Not an easy journey, mind you. And, you know, I came from a background of retail. So I grew up in my parents' business, which was retail. And I knew that business. I got into it when I was 19 and did phenomenally well very early. I had some big ideas, big dreams, often wondering why my parents didn't take it to the next level. Although when I look back, they took it to a huge level compared to where they came from. But at 19, I was young, energetic, learned everything from them, and went out and started being a business turnaround expert, if you like. I would buy rundown businesses, do them up, sell them on. And I did that a few times and did really well. However, when I discovered network marketing, I was floored because I was used to investing like tens of thousands into a business after I'd purchased it for hundreds of thousands. That was my, if you like, formula. I was used to working 16, 17, 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. That was my formula. That's how I made retail work. That's how my parents made retail work. That's how our forefathers did it, right? So that whole work hard, put the hours in, you know, I'm just listening to Jim Rohn there, and I was like, I can relate to that. Working hard was how it was. That's how I was taught, and that's how I went. And listen, I'm not against hard work. I work hard in network marketing too. But here's the thing. When you understand the dynamics of network marketing, then it gets very exciting, because what I didn't have in my traditional businesses was time freedom. I had financial freedom, but no time freedom. I didn't even have peace of mind. I had stress. In network marketing, I'm not worried about paying the bills. I'm not worried about paying the rent, making sure there's enough inventory or staff are all turning up. They're all doing their work. None of it. It's headache free. The only headache is whether you did what you're supposed to do or not. That's the beauty of network marketing, leverage. You leverage other people's systems, other people's expertise, other people's peace of mind. Yeah, that they give up their peace of mind. I let the owners of the company give up their peace of mind so I can have some. And then all I've got to focus on is leveraging their systems, leveraging tools, leveraging the plan, and leveraging the power of people. Once I understood those dynamics, I was like, oh my God, there's no limit to this. It's a limitless business model. In fact, I was having lunch this afternoon with the ex-VP of BlackBerry, believe it or not. I get invited to these funky events through friends that I know. So a friend calls me up. He's from London, funnily enough. He says, I'm in Dubai. What are you doing? I said, I just arrived here a couple of days ago. What are you doing? He said, I'm just about to go to lunch with the ex-VP of BlackBerry. Do you fancy joining us? I don't know where the conversation will go, but it's sure to be fruitful. And off I went, and boom, what a phenomenal mind, and a great individual. We had a fantastic 3 odd hours together, and we hit it off straight away. Got on really well. And who knows, you know, I sold him on the idea of network marketing, and I plant seeds. That's all I do. I've got no clue whether the ex-VP of BlackBerry is somebody that might, he certainly doesn't need to, but might entertain the idea of making a difference, right? So let's see. But he was thrilled to learn about my journey and my understanding, my experience of it, and didn't know how he'd missed it all his life. He thought it was phenomenal. It's just like when I was explaining to him what it was and how it works. He was like, that's insane that more companies don't use that marketing method. I said, tell me about it. I said, you would have been in a time and an era where they probably spent millions and millions and millions on a weekly basis on TV, billboards, radio, traditional advertising. He said, yes, that's right. And here it's zero cost because it's only results driven. It's performance driven. You only pay out once a sale is made, when revenue is generated. He was just like blown away with the whole fact, how big the industry was, and that he didn't know, and how he's misunderstood what others often do as well. The difference between network marketing and Ponzi schemes. And he was really, really appreciative of the education. Let's just say that. But I was able to do that. Why? Because I have an understanding. I was able to sit down with this giant stature of a human being. And I say giant stature in terms of his achievements in his lifetime. It's no joke to be somebody that high up in a corporation that big in its time. You with me? So a giant of his time, a giant in his era. And the fact that I could contribute and get him to say, wow, what a fantastic concept, to something that he didn't understand his whole life. Imagine that. And so that's where I like to inspire people to start, is really get an in-depth understanding of the dynamics, of the comparables. Why am I so excited about network marketing? And why have I maintained that excitement for 27 years, never once slipping off that path? It's a bumpy road for sure. It's never how you plan it to be, for sure. It's ups and downs like everything in life. But the fundamentals, the principles, they are way ahead of their time. And he agreed with me. He agreed with me. He said, this stuff needs to be out there on a much larger scale. I said, I know. Because I've been fighting that corner for 27 years. And I said, maybe one day society will be enlightened enough to work it out. Maybe one day society will be awakened enough to work it out. It's certainly getting bigger. It's getting stronger. It's getting better. Certainly the last couple of decades with technology has helped massively. It's also had the opposite as well, like everything. When something is new, it's often misunderstood and abused. That happens as well. But within all of that, I explained how Amway was taken to court by the American government. Imagine that. The American government took on a network marketing company, called it a Ponzi, and lost. And if it wasn't for Amway winning that fight in court on US soil, who knows whether we'd be here having this conversation today, right? But they proved themselves to be a legitimate, powerful business concept, idea, structure. And network marketing was accepted and acknowledged in the courts as viable business mechanism. Wow. How exciting is that? So somebody's already done the hard work. The battle was all, no, let me say the war was won. I think we're still fighting the battle was won. The war is yet to be won. I think the war is, as I'm sharing, like, one day it's taught in schools. They've started. I know Harvard and Yale have started teaching about network marketing. How exciting is that? So, but again, we're talking about, decades later, 70, 80 years later, the big unis are going, oh, do you know what? There's this little thing out there. Maybe we need to take it a little bit more serious and teach it to people. So you can actually do a degree in network marketing now. How fantastic is that? But again, a little bit behind times, because network marketing is just the first iteration. We've then got internet marketing, affiliate marketing, everything that's born out of the technology boom of the last 2 decades, right? And then products and services were the restrictions of the day. Now we've got digital products and services, right? So back then it was physical, now it's all digital, information, technology, et cetera, right? And then add to that the most recent boom, which is crypto. So it keeps evolving. I even said that. I said, what? Sometimes I feel like we've evolved over thousands of years at a certain pace, but the speed of technological evolution over the last couple of decades has far outperformed the speed of human evolution over the last couple of decades. So we haven't caught up. We find ourselves in this really strange scenario where human beings have not caught up with the resources around them, the tools around them, what's possible. We haven't caught up. We are so far behind. The fact that, even today, we still talking about sending kids to school to learn algebra and trigonometry and stuff that, unless you're very specialized in a specific niche field, is 100% irrelevant information. And we're not teaching them about marketing online and creating a brand and building companies and doing business worldwide and earning, income through the net and, being financially independent and financial literacy and how to manage money and how to, do all the things that, technology has allowed us to do much more easily today than ever before. But we're not tapping into that education, right? So it's up to people like us to get that education and to pass that education on to others, right? We are the pioneers of all of that. So we're really early pioneers. We're talking, because everything I've talked about has all happened in the last couple of decades, and crypto is the most recent. And really, crypto has only really flourished in the last 4 or 5 years. And it still hasn't flourished. 250 million people on the planet after 12 years of something of a breakthrough technology being created, only 250 odd million people on the planet actually are in it, is in itself mind-boggling. But then you think about the internet. When I read about Jeff Bezos set up Amazon in 1994, the internet only really came to life a decade later, if that. Facebook came out 2007, 2008 to the public when it got traction. 15 years after Amazon was born, Facebook was born. Seems like they happened in the same era, but they didn't. So it took 15 years from Amazon to Facebook, which seems like, for me in my head, the same era. Can you see? So it takes time for technology to be embraced and integrated into society. So crypto is just entering that 12 years, 13 years. So it's just entering that same kind of space where the awareness is there, but nobody's got a clue how they're supposed to get involved and take advantage. And what are the ways that you can take advantage of what's going on in the world today? Learning. You've got to keep up with what's going on, right? So learning is so, so important. And as networkers, I believe we are some of the most highly educated, intelligent, forward-thinking, adaptable human beings on the planet. I always say that. And the evidence of that was in the lunch this afternoon. Ex-VP of BlackBerry, clueless about how the world of entrepreneurship works in 2022. Clueless, zero, nada, nothing. Sat on top of a multi-billion-dollar empire. No idea about leverage. Wow. I'm sitting there going, I'm educating somebody that's really educated. Do you see what I'm saying? So, and then we did a little survey around the table. There were 4 of us. We said, right. So I talked about the stat that, and we talked about education and how wealth has got nothing to do with education. And we did the rounds of who's got a degree. And to my surprise, he didn't have one. But also he expected that I did, and so did the other 2 guys. And none of us had a degree. We're all entrepreneurs. And we had a good laugh about that as well. Like, wow, look at that. Like the wealth of knowledge and understanding and depth of wisdom around that table today. All of us blown away with the fact that none of us finished university. 2 never even made it to uni, and 2 of us dropped out of uni, right? So again, it just goes to show you we're teaching stuff that doesn't produce the 3-hour lunch conversation that we had today. That was not taught in school, college, or university. That was taught through life, and we shared great life experiences. We had a Persian, 2 Indians, and where was he from? I can't remember where the 4th guy was from. But my point is, all different worldly background experiences, but the experiences that we brought to the table made us gel and connect. So isn't it beautiful when we can do that? And network marketing for me is that, right? It's about building relationships with people that are like-minded, identifying people that are like us, and then sharing. Simple as that. And we're a rare breed. We're a tiny percentage of the planet, a tiny, tiny percentage of the planet, right? One of the things I also took credit for and made a claim for was that network marketing is 90% responsible for all of the crypto success to date. Think about that for a second. if it wasn't for network marketing, in my opinion, if it wasn't for network marketing, 90% of all the people that are on crypto today wouldn't be in it. It wouldn't have got the traction, the awareness, the footprint that it's already created in the last 5, 6 years, 7 years. Mind-blowing. Network marketing did that. It put crypto on the map for people, for ordinary people like us. Before that, nobody knew what crypto was. Got a few headlines on news channels from time to time, putting it down as some dodgy mechanism to support evil people around the world, is how it was talked about for the first 5 or 6 years. But hardly anyone involved, hardly anyone in it. And the few people that in it were getting hammered by media whenever they came across it, right? But the last 5, 6, 7 years, because network marketing took it to the ground level, made it understandable, accessible, gave the education what it is, because of the mechanism of network marketing, the information started trickling up from the bottom, from the public, from the people on the ground who were getting involved and starting to open up wallets and accounts so that they could earn from this thriving industry. So when I say we're at the beginning of the beginning, understand me that there is a power and a responsibility in our hands. There's a power and a responsibility in our hands to go out of our way to be professionals in the space, so that when we're speaking to people, we have some level of understanding, some level of knowledge. Not the techie side, but enough to market it well, enough to do it justice, so that when people are speaking with us, they can learn from us and feel more confident as a result of speaking with us. Don't be amateur. Don't be the second in line. Be the first in line to want to speak up about what you do, what you stand for, and the difference that you're making. Like, what is it? What are we doing here? Right? Yes, we're empowering people financially. Yes, we're teaching people how to liberate themselves and their lifestyles. We're doing all of that great stuff, but also carving a conversation into society and giving momentum to a voice that hasn't, to this date yet, attracted mass adoption. That's a big task. It's a big, big task, right? Mass adoption. And so that's what we're doing. That's what we're up to. So learn to speak with people on that level, right? Say, hey, listen, let's have a sit down and a talk, not just about jumping in and getting in. Understand, what are you getting into? When I sit at the office, I'm going back in tomorrow. I've got a slot with the team at the office tomorrow. I love it because they are, they speak education into me. So, they are there from 8 years, 2014, 2013, when they started. So they really understand not being understood. So, the conversations they have, I just love being silent. I'm the quiet one in the room, right? I'm just sitting there absorbing when they're talking. I'm just listening and absorbing and learning and going, wow, what a journey. I just want to know. I want to know, what did they go through? What did they learn? What are the lessons that they can pass on? What's the batons that I can pick up and go forward with? They've been through hell and back in their journey. We're talking about people that have amassed insane amounts of crypto and lost all of it because they didn't understand technology in those early days. Like, I'm just sitting there going, what a recovery. But the fact that they're here to tell those stories, what a privilege to have, I say privilege, it sounds weird when I'm saying it, but when I'm sat there listening to them, when you lose 50,000 Bitcoins, I'm just sitting there going, and to recover from that, there are people that would not want to recover from that. There are people that would not want to recover from those kind of losses. But everything's relative, isn't it? Everything's relative. Because back then, as they say, 50,000 Bitcoins wasn't the same as 50,000 Bitcoins today. But they knew that it was going to be big, but they didn't know it was going to be this big. So they handled it. They handled it because that's what entrepreneurs do. We handle it. the losses I've made in my entrepreneurial journey, multiple seven figures several times throughout my lifetime. Built businesses, lost them. Built empires, lost them. Traditional businesses, right? So that's what entrepreneurs do. We talked about that as well. We were fixing the world today, I'll tell you. We talked about what is an entrepreneur, like what makes an entrepreneur an entrepreneur? And we had this little debate, like, can you even teach this? Can you teach entrepreneurialism to somebody that isn't one? And I'm still undecided. I'm undecided. I'm more on the side of you can't teach the fabric of entrepreneurialism. You can teach the principles, you can teach the fundamentals, you can teach the mechanics. But to be an entrepreneur, that's something you got to bring to the table. I can't teach you to show up, for example. I can encourage, I can warn the cost of not showing up. I can identify the challenges that you're going to face at some point in various stages of your journey, but only you can take those experiences on and get through them or not, be stopped by them, right? I can't get you through your part of the journey. That's got to come from inside. The desire to show up here, right? That comes from you. You did that. Congratulations. Pat on the back. Definitely gets my round of applause, but that takes something. To break your patterns, interrupt your life, and show up. But then don't just show up and not have it be meaningful. Don't just show up for a presentation or nuts and bolts, but show up in the follow through. Grow, commit to the in-between stuff, right? It's like swinging from one branch to another. This is that in-between stage from one branch to another. There's a nuts and bolts today, and there's another one next week, and there'll be another one the week after that. And as long as I'm alive and breathing, there'll be another one the week after that, and so on, so forth, so forth. But what you do in the 6 days in between is what produces feedback, so that you can measure your progress. Have I grown? Have I learned? Am I better? Are my conversations more fluent? Is my language more influential? Am I making a difference? Am I having an impact? Who am I as I'm showing up? Am I showing up as an expert? Am I getting the attention of people? Are they listening differently? Are they asking questions? See, if people ask you questions about something, that's a sign that they're trusting that you're giving them the right answers. But if you haven't got answers, they're not going to ask you questions. Or if you're giving them lazy answers, they're going to run out of questions. Do you see? So become that person that people want to engage with in conversation. They want to learn from so that they can move forward. That's how this whole thing works. Lead your movement. Lead your team. Lead your people. Don't just follow. It's very easy to not lead, right? We talk about plug and play. Yeah, plug and play is for the masses. For leaders, it's plug and get serious. Don't play. Like, take this seriously and have people plugging into you. That's duplication, right? And be the kind of person that people want to plug into. So the advantages that we've got, the hottest space in town ever, historically, when it comes to financial abundance, crypto and blockchain. Within that space, regulated, royal seal of approval, solid, transparent, integrous guys with a 3-year track record and history. And yet nobody knows about them. Virgin territory, wide open opportunity. Do you know the number of times I've seen this over and over again, and it will happen here 100% guaranteed, I can tell you that. 6 months down the line, a year down the line, there'll be people saying, oh yeah, I was in that. Oh yeah, I did open an account. I can't remember my username. I can't remember my password. There'll be people that will be doing that when they're getting phone calls from other people saying, hey, have you heard about, are you in? That all of that's going to happen because it's natural. That's what happens every time. When a great idea lands and gets momentum, all the people that were in it early didn't appreciate and took for granted that they were in it early. About 99% of them. So this is the 1% club. Are you in? The 1% club that got the vision, understood what was going on, made a commitment to lead the field. Each and every person on this Zoom has got the opportunity to lead. You get that? Because you're already in the creme de la creme. You're already you're showing up, right? You're making a noise. However big or small in your world, for me, it's a huge noise because you're showing up here. So that's a signal to me as a leader. That's a signal that says, I'm up for the task. I'm up for the growth. I'm up for the challenge. I'm up for growing through whatever it takes to master this journey and start ranking up. And the ranks are the measurement, right? Start with the small rank. You know, start at the beginning. The first kind of rank that makes a difference to pay is director 1-star. Don't be lazy in making that happen. Be the cause, not the effect of it. Don't make D5 something that happens because somebody in your team got excited and got you there. And you accidentally got the rank. Because it takes away from your power. When your team pushes you up the ranks without your participation, you lose power. When you lead, your team still takes you up the ranks, but there's power there because you're working hand in hand on the field with the team and you're causing the result, not waiting for the result to happen. It's such a fundamental difference there, causing the rank versus the rank happening to you. All right. And listen, if you get a couple of strong players in two different legs and they leg it way faster than you could ever leg it, and you end up rushing up the ranks accidentally, cool. Enjoy the abundance, enjoy the free ride, but see if you can keep up with them. Like, learn from them, grow from them. There's no embarrassment in learning from people in your team if they're performing better than you are, if they're getting things done better than you are, if they're moving faster than you are. You don't need to hold on to pride and ego. Get humble, get on the ground, say, listen, what are you up to, man? You just cracked the rank before me. How did you do it? Let me plug into you. Do you see? It works in all directions. And then here's the other thing. Success breeds success. You've heard these things, right? Success breeds success. I've been at the top of 11 different companies in my 27-year career. It's not accidental anymore, is it? I can't put it down to luck. Can't put it down to accidental or, oh my God, how did that happen? It's just the science works. We've just got to humble ourselves to the science. The science of all the things that we talk about here: communication skills, rapport building skills, influence skills. You know, when we're sharing, when we're presenting, how we share and how we present has an impact. It does. So why not improve that? Improve your odds, right? All of those things. There's a story, an analogy I want to share with you of, let me just get the story straight in my head so I don't mess it up for you. Okay. So it's not even a story. It's actually an experiment. So there's, you know, as we know, as humans, we've experimented with animals a lot to learn about behavior. All right. So there's an experiment done where they put mice in like a maze and there's food on either side. But the maze means that there's a mouse on each side, and they've got to, at some point, they will meet each other. And then they've got to fight to get through to the other side to get to the food. And the experiment showed that, so what they did before they put the mice in the maze, they measured the strength and the parameters of each mouse. So which one was slightly heavier, more muscular, stronger, like, they measured a bunch of stuff, right? And they put them in this maze with one having a competitive advantage over the other. And exactly as predicted, every time the stronger mouse would win, overpowering the smaller, weaker mouse, getting to the food first, every time. And then this is the experiment. And that's expected, right? That's expected. Survival of the fittest. It's expected. The stronger will win every time, 100%. So rule number one, be the strongest. But if you're not the strongest, what else can you do? Well, here's what they did. Here's the experiment, the power of the experiment. They forced the smaller or the weaker mouse past the big one with a rod. They pushed it past. Here's what was interesting. The next time they took the weaker mouse and put it in the maze with a stronger mouse, there was an 80% increase in the smaller mouse winning because it believed it could. Powerful stuff. What is that? That's not to do with muscular strength. That's not to do with weight advantage, power advantage. That's a mental game in a mouse. If mice can work this stuff out, imagine what we can do. I always say it's a mental game. Winning is a mental game. And so again, I love that. Mighty Mouse. The little mouse won over and over again, way more likely to win because it starts developing muscle memory of being a winner, of it's possible. I can do this. Genius, isn't it? This stuff just, it gets me every time. I love it. There's so much in our reserve that we don't tap into. Each and every one of you on this Zoom has got more untapped potential than the potential you've tapped. Every one of us. We've got more untapped potential that we may never acknowledge and realize because we might not ever push ourselves to those points. But that's why they say that life doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It happens outside of it. Who you are is far greater than you know yourself to be. It's profound. Who you are is far greater than you know yourself to be. Imagine that for a second. Imagine you just realize the day that you're going to die, that you could have been so much more. That wouldn't be fun, would it? And by the way, that is what happens most of the time. You know when you've burned your years out, when you've used the body up, deep down inside. Because it's always the case. I'd say for 99% of people, unless you're a top performing athlete or a top performing CEO, or unless you're the top of your field, like you've reached the pinnacle, then you haven't tapped into your greatness. Whatever that is, right? Unless you've chosen something and mastered it and got to the top of it, that's when you know that you've tapped into something. You've tapped into something far greater than average, than normal. But the vast majority of people don't tap into their energy. They're happy to sit in the sidelines, happy to watch. And I'm talking about even people in the deal, people inside of network marketing. Look, here's the stats, right? And they're broadly speaking rough. I've not recently studied them, but roughly speaking, in all businesses, 95% of all businesses, not just network marketing, every business arena, 95% of all businesses fail within 3 years. They're just the odds. You just have to know what the odds are. So as an entrepreneur, that's the odds that you're taking on, knowing that 9.5 out of every 10 people that enter the space will fail within 3 years. But once you know that, You then need to decide, are you going to hang around and master it and be part of the 5%? Or are you going to poke it with a stick and be part of the 95%? And it's the same in network marketing. Are you going to be somebody that smashes the ranks, kicks them from here to kingdom come? Or are you just going to sit there and watch other people smashing ranks? It's a decision to make, right? And guess what? When you hit the first rank, you become Mighty Mouse. You build a belief. You build a blueprint. You now know you can crack ranks. Guess what? The next rank just got closer. Even though financially it's further, the first one's 5,000, the next one's 15. Mentally, the 15 happens much easier than the first 5. Because it's a mental game. You now have a success blueprint. Now you know what it feels like to win, to make something happen, to be the cause of something. This is why I say cause the rank. Don't wait for people to push you up ranks. It's cool. It's a bonus if they do. But cause the rank. Get ahead of the team. Make your ranks happen faster because of you. That's the game. That's the mental game, right? So be in this wholeheartedly for you, not because it's the right thing to do, or because your upline talks you into it and you always do what they do, or whatever other, be in it for the maximum growth opportunity. Like really go in and look at yourself like, okay, hold on, what's holding me back? Whatever it is, different stories for different people, always. Like, are you a very easy one to touch on for sure? Think of a time when you were smashing in network marketing. You've got the DNA, you've got the blueprint. Is that the person that's playing here? Are you bringing that heat? Are you bringing that level of power to your game? Is that how you're showing up when you're pitching this? Or are you holding on to some past pain, some past wounds, too busy licking the wounds? Easily done. Learn to recover faster. Learn to recover faster. 95% of all businesses fail. It doesn't stop entrepreneurs from winning. Every entrepreneur messes a whole bunch of stuff up before they start winning. Every single one of them. 99% of the time. There's very few entrepreneurs that said, you know what? I started a business and now I'm a multi-billionaire. There might be the odd 1%, right? There's always extremes. But as a general rule, they've all got the same story. They tried this, they tried that. This worked, that didn't work. Something else worked a bit better. Something else, they lost everything again. They started from scratch again. Then they got up again. They got further up the ladder. They moved further. They grew a bigger business. That all collapsed and went wrong. Times changed. Economies changed. The rules changed. Inflation, whatever dynamics. Interest rates went up. That failed. Then they started something else. Every single successful entrepreneur tells exactly the same story 99% of the time. So you haven't got time to be sitting there going, oh, poor me. You really haven't. Because if you're committed to the outcome, if you're committed to climbing and succeeding and moving up, it's irrelevant. The 95% failure rate is irrelevant. Focus on the 5% that you know is there for the taking, for anybody that wants to take it. That's where I focus. Guaranteed, there are going to be many more Crown ambassadors coming through in the coming months and years. Guaranteed. I know it already, as do each and every one of you. It's a done deal. The only question is, are you one of them? In my world, when you talk about leadership, right? That's the only question. Are you one of them? And here's the magic. It's not even about being attached. You might not be, but if you aim for that, you might end up as a 7 or 8 or a 9 star by accident. It's not a bad result. Trust me. It's not a bad result at all. That's the old saying, right? Some people get it the wrong way around, but if you aim for the stars, you might land on the moon. Not a bad place to be, right? Because it's about growth. It's about your growth. outperforming your past, getting beyond your limitations. If you're used to making $5,000 a month at work, then your part-time mindset might limit you to 500 a month outside of work. You need to break that up. You need to start learning that you can make $5,000 a month full-time in a job, and you make another $5,000 a month part-time in your own business. And when you've reached that, then you can say, hold on, I can make 10 grand a month part-time while I'm making my full $5,000 a month full-time. It's all in here, right? At one point, you might have the guts to say, you know what? I'm going to go for 20 grand a month part-time, and then I even maybe let go of my job that pays $5,000 a month. Do you see? The job is important because it allows you to build your business without stress. Nothing worse than somebody struggling with money trying to make network marketing work. Some people can make that work. There are a few that are just that hardcore, rock solid, relentless machines that they can build something even with the worst circumstances on the planet. I've seen those stories come through, but they are few and far between. Most people underperform when they're under pressure or under stress because they get consumed by their circumstances. If you don't know how you're going to pay your rent next month or how you're going to pay your mortgage next month, and then you're trying to build a network marketing company, most people, that doesn't empower them. It doesn't put them in a strong position. So that's why I say for most people, a job is a great thing. It's a gift because it gives them stability. It gives them a foundation to be relaxed in knowing that their rent is covered and their food is covered and their clothes are covered. But then they have to find another motivation because you can also be too relaxed knowing that all of that's covered and not have enough motivation to create something spectacular, right? So find out how you operate, what motivates you. You know, you might be that one reckless person that operates better when you hand in your job, your notice and sack yourself from your boss and, you smash it up. Maybe that's who you are, but I'm not going to encourage it, that's for sure. And, it's for you to find out how are you going to motivate yourself. If you've got your job and you've got your bases covered, how are you going to get uncomfortable in a comfortable situation? Because you got to find that. You have to find a hustle. You got to find a fire. You got to find that sweet spot in your life that has you go, I'm getting up an hour earlier. I'm going to go to sleep an hour later. I'm going to give up my lunchtime, whatever it might be. You have to find that thing inside of you that I can't give to you, nor can your upline. Only you can do this. You've got to find that mojo, that spark that has you get excited. Because the people that win big in pretty much everything on the planet that ever happens are the people that get excited about what they're doing. Not the ones that are doing great stuff. There's loads of people doing great stuff. It's the ones that get excited about what they're doing that win. The excitement that, whatever that is, when you're excited, there's a release of all different kind of chemicals in your body that happens that brings out a better you. So get excited. And that's where the why is so important. Like, why are you going to do this? Why are you going to get to director 1 and director 2 and director 3? Why are you going to reach ambassador 6? Why are you going to get to crown? Why? For what? Find your thing of what that is and break it down to little chunks and let's crush it together. So I'm going to come back in the room now. Thank you so much. Let me open up the mics so that, actually, let me not open up the mics. I do get excited. I do that on the smaller Zooms, not the big ones. I'll wait for your hands to get raised and then we can have a interaction, some feedback, some learning, sharing, etc. And we got Dizzy going up first. Hey, how you doing, champ?
What can I say, man? You do it every single week. Every single week. Something that I need to hear. And much appreciated. You know, it's so easy to forget and slip back into your normal life, especially when you've got people around you that are not into network marketing, you know. So I really appreciate your call today. And, you know, it's time to fire it back up and every week just keep going on. So muchas gracias.
Awesome. Dig deeper, as they say, right?
Yep.
Wonderful. Thank you. Aaron, how you doing, champ?
I am great, man. How you doing?
Wonderful, wonderful. What's going on, brother?
Thank you for that motivation, as we usually do. Like to get that,
My
have to
pleasure.
come on and get that every week. It was an interesting day because I got up this morning and then the negative energy and sometimes if you get into that mood where you get some depressing energy come on you, and I'm like, hey, you know what? Get up. And I got up. I went downstairs, put on the laptop, put on my speaker, and start blasting some motivational music, some motivational speeches. And then I started exercising. And then after that, I got my day started. I say, you know what? I need to break out of that down spirit that sometimes, because every one of us, we get that little down spirit every now and then. And I need to break out of that. And, this as well has a part to play with me now. This is my next part of the day where I'm coming now and, getting that additional fired up to get cracking again. So thank you very much for it. And, let's continue going.
100%. Thank you. Awesome. Again, all of us have to deal with that, right? Each and every one of us has our own version of somebody, something, whether it's our own voice or somebody else's voice that is affecting us. We've got to learn. This is all part of growth, right? We've got to learn to not be affected by that. So that's a practice in itself, because we still love the people around us, but they don't need to have a negative impact on us when we're focused on what we're up to. Sharon.
Hiya. You
Hey.
okay?
Amazing.
Oh, I can relate with Aaron. Yeah, I mean, last week I was going to the gym, and honestly, I seriously nearly just turned round and went, "Oh, stuff it! I'm just going to message him and say I'm not coming." But I catapulted. You know what I did? I catapulted myself up to bed. I just went,
Love it.
right. I'm just going to jump out in 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, oh, boom. And I went, and I thought, right, I'm
Love
out
it.
now. And
Yeah.
I thought, oh my God, honestly, it is so, guys, it is so easy, isn't it? To, should I have that extra custard slice, or should I just not?
Yeah.
Should I just, eat before I go to bed, or should I just not? Everything is a choice, isn't it?
And it's in that moment. It's in that moment.
It's that moment, isn't it? And honestly, it's a challenge. I think everybody comes up with challenges, and network marketing is no different from life, right? It's the same thing.
It is.
I need to be busy, because if I'm not busy, I get bored very easily. So sometimes sometimes I don't know how to switch off. And then other times you end up doing stuff. What the hell have I done? I've done nothing. I've been busy doing nothing.
Wow.
And I'm like, what am I doing? So yeah, I think I've got a plan. I've got a plan moving forward to get more structure, better structure for ourselves. I think we all need it, don't we?
Yeah, 100%.
Just need structure. And
I love that, the distinction of busy doing nothing. It's a common one. It's a really common one. Busy doing nothing for me means filling time with activities that are not producing results, right?
Yeah.
So what we call NEPA, non-income producing activities. So, busy writing lists, names, busy making cups of tea and coffee, busy having a quick cleanup, let me clean the house first and then I'll make the phone calls, whatever it might be. It comes up in all different ways, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so the day whizzes by. It's not like you're sitting there doing nothing. You're not lounging around doing nothing.
Oh no.
When you look back, everything you've done did not move you forward.
And other days it's different. Last week I was on it. Boom, 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 happening. And then the weekend, all this lull amongst London and the Queen, and it just slows you down, and you think, oh, do you know what? You just slowed me down. It takes a while to get back into that, that flow. So I feel that Tuesday nights, just like George lied on his bed with his leg up in the air, we just get our fixes, don't we? And I think that people need to make themselves get on this call. I always think there's never the same a recorded call is never the same as a live call.
Agreed.
You know,
You know what? That in itself, it's very powerful to understand that, because when it's recorded, you're watching the same thing, but you're witnessing something that's already happened. So you're not a part of it. Mentally, you're already disconnected from the event. You're just, it's a different, it activates a different part of your brain, because you're just watching something that's already happened.
Yeah.
Versus when you're here, it's unfolding and happening with you. It's a whole different impression on the brain.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we all just need to give ourselves a shake from, what is it? A shake up from your, what is it?
A checkup from the neck up.
A checkup from the neck up. That's what we need.
There you
we
go.
all need a checkup from the neck up.
Absolutely. Love it. Thank you. Thank you.
Cheers, buddy.
AK, go ahead and unmute yourself. AK.
Hello.
AK has got bad internet connection.
Thank you very much, Kalpesh, sir. I am very thankful, Sir Kalpesh, I am here.
Is that a deal? Oh, very bad internet, unfortunately. We'll see if we can catch you again in a while. Sue, you're up next. Hey.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Kalpesh, for just your wisdom and giving us a kick up the arse every now and then, you know, like we all need one of those. And I was just thinking, you know, like we're all kind of solopreneurs as well, right? We're all kind of hustling on our own, unless you're in a team like Sharon. But I'm sure Sharon probably gets it as well. But I think, you know, definitely for me, reaching out to other people in the community or other leaders really helps. And I haven't been doing as much of that. So I have been kind of dropping out of the zone. And yeah, like taking my foot off the pedal with it really. So yeah, you know, I just need to create a structure to stay connected with, you know, high flying leaders so that I can, you know, maintain that energy as well. And also just, you know, like today, yes, I have got some time on my hands, and today I actually created, okay, what am I going to do with that time, you know? And I created some videos, some simple videos, you know, you've been asking me for ages and I haven't done it. And today I've, you know, set up the Vimeo account, and we're going to get those videos out there so people can easily plug into those videos as well. So really making the time to do what needs to be done to serve the community as well. And I'm excited, you know, I signed up 2 new people this week, and, you know, they're super excited as well. So, yeah, we've got 10 days till the end of September, and, you know, let's really get them ranks cranked. So thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you. And thank you for those videos. I know that they're going to make a massive difference to everybody as well. George, you're up next, buddy. Hey.
Hey there, man. How you going?
Amazing. How are you?
Yeah, awesome, man. I loved your line. Who you are is far greater than you know yourself to be. That is so good. And it's been seriously incredible, the horizontal scenario, because it's worked out. It's an awful lot more challenging to get around the house than I ever expected it to be. But then you get some windfalls. You get people coming back into your life that have come. They've come to ask you about you and your genuineness, and then, well, what are you doing? Well, I'm still working. My business is ticking over. What do you mean you're still working? Well, you can do business horizontally. It doesn't matter. And, yeah, so it's been lots of fun.
I think that's another profession, George.
That's right. Excuse me. I don't think I get paid for that one, though.
Brilliant. Love it. No, well done, man. You're an inspiration, and I love how you've handled your accident and still managed to keep your attitude above water, excuse the pun, and keep your business afloat, excuse the other pun.
That's exactly it. And strength to strength. And I started it through it. It's started 2 other businesses as well. So it's all exciting stuff. So, but thank you again. Seriously appreciate your input.
Thank you. Thanks, buddy. Next up, we have Grandpa Crypto in the house. Hey.
Hello, young sir. Lovely to see you.
You
Yeah,
too?
I've been a bit of miss last few weeks. Firstly, I had 2 weeks where I was pretty poorly. I don't know, it wasn't COVID, but it felt worse than that actually, and I was really under the weather, and I had to look after our Bella's school. And then, of course, unfortunately, she's not as well as she could be. So, but I've sort of been told I've got to take a week off next week because my daughter's bringing me over to see you. We're coming to Dubai on Saturday.
Oh wow!
For a
Hey,
week. So I'll be with you next week. Well,
I
I'll
look
get there
forward to that.
as soon as I can. I've been ordered that I have to have a rest. I have to have some time off because Val's going into a care home for about 10 days. And I believe now, and I was just telling Sharon actually a couple of minutes ago, that they've arranged now to get care in for me here at home to look after Val 3-4 days a week, so that I can actually get on and do something, because it's really, really difficult, as I'm sure a lot of people know, when you're 24 hours a carer to have another job, if you know what I mean. But this was a lovely talk tonight, Cap. I mean, I just love the word entrepreneur. I feel I've been one most of my life, one way and another. I have worked for people once or twice. I was a lathe chuck checker once, you know.
What?
A lathe chuck checker. Lathe chuck checker. Every lathe has a
me
chuck.
back in time. My dad, when he came to England, in 1970, 70, because he didn't have education, he actually, outside of his job, part-time, did a degree in lathe operating something.
Oh, lathe technology. Yeah, lathe. Well,
Yeah.
wood
He did that one back
turning.
then.
You can do, there's loads of it.
Wow.
Because I mean, they are beautiful bits of kit, lathes, and I loved it. But I couldn't stand the job. I had to clock in, clock out, and really and truly, I think that's about the only time I've actually ever worked for anybody. Most of my life, I've kicked around being an entrepreneur, but nobody taught me to be one.
No.
Everybody said, "How did you become one?" I said, "I don't know. They never taught me that at school." And I think, taking on what you said about school, I really believe that the problem we have there is none of the teachers know how to teach what you're teaching. They are, you know, they don't know anything about it. I mean, how often do teachers come into network marketing? Do you know? Have anybody looked at it to see how many?
Funnily enough, it is a big. I mean, teachers, when they come in, they often win because the mechanics work. They really favor them because the whole.
Because they can teach other people how to do it.
Correct. They're already
That's
good
right,
at getting information and passing it along in a way that other people get it, right? So they lead in, they fit in very well as teachers. But how many actually come in as a percentage? Probably very small.
Very small. You know, and I just wish there were more people that could teach at schools. You know, to teach people how to run their lives after they leave school. It's all, I'll spend 50 grand and I go to university. You know, it's get yourself into debt for the rest of your life. It's pretty scary, really. So there you go. Happy days. Yeah, I've got to get my butt into gear. I've really got to do more, and I've got to join Goran up. But what is he now? Ambassador 10.
Almost. He's up there, isn't he? He's moving up.
I understand. I saw the
knots.
news
He's crushing
today.
it.
Yeah, I saw the news today. Congratulations, Goran. You're a real star,
you.
mate. Well done. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Goran.
See you next week, mate.
Thank you, buddy. Look forward to it.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. Goran, was it? You've just smashed through 9, haven't you?
Yeah, 9.
Goodness.
Thanks for that, and thank
What
you, Andy.
speed are you maintaining there, man? Tell us how does one smash through 9, Ambassador 9 at lightning speed?
You know, in reality, and this is reality. I didn't know whether Jim Rohn had stopped when you came on, and what you shared. Seriously, I didn't know whether it was you or Jim speaking for the next hour. And thank you for that, because I was cycling back from my son's soccer training. It was a bit darker. Then I realised hope I wasn't distracting. I didn't realise my camera was on. But with that, how do I answer that question in a nutshell? Basically, apply the principles that you're sharing. One of the things you talked about was being able to attract. I think you talked about this. It was along those lines, but you attract, I suppose, where your thinking is at. And when we came into this, we looked at Crown Ambassador, and I say we, my wife and I, and some of our key guys, yourself, who decided to hitch their wagons with this. we saw one thing, and that was Crown Ambassador and helping as many people as possible get through to that level. So achieving this is really just a byproduct of the quality of the leadership that you tend to attract into your group. Now, I've been working in this industry for 30 odd years. So hopefully learnt a thing or two, built a few relationships or two. And through the course of the passage of time, if you do the right thing, you work hard enough, things come together. I don't think for someone brand new who's looking at this, who might be listening to this right now, you don't necessarily have to go through the same journey, the exact same journey that Kalpesh went through, that I've gone through, that Grandpa's gone through, or Sharon's gone through, or Mick's gone through. Your journey is going to be your journey. But what you can do is you can speed things up by grabbing a hold of what Kalpesh is talking about here and actually applying it. The challenge, probably the biggest disappointment for me over the years, is seeing how many people get given incredible information and they don't act on it. And they don't act on it, or maybe they do eventually act on it. They need something to inspire them or some change in their life. You know, you mentioned about people being able to work through adversity. I can remember a couple of years ago going through a period of adversity in our life and seeing an opportunity and realizing this could be the last one, and working like there was no tomorrow. And I think sometimes you just got to do that. And if you've got a job right now, hopefully you enjoy what you're doing and you're here because you are inspired by what you can create with this. Well, in the time that you've got available, whether it's 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, whatever it is, work like there's no tomorrow. That's it. And when you do that, and Sue made a great point about plugging in with, association. I was sharing a story with some leaders yesterday in one of my teams in Australia, and I remember meeting an incredible gentleman. His name was Charlie Tremendous Jones, and he kind of jokingly said, "This is back in 1993, folks, in Sydney." And I remember being introduced to him before the event, and he came up to me and he gave me a big bear hug, and he kind of whispered in my ear and he said, "Don't look now, everyone's asking questions about why we're embracing." But he went on and he shared some incredible things, and one of the things he said was that you'll be the same today in 5 years, except for the people you meet and the books you read. The people you meet, the books you read. And I think we can take someone's journey in a book, and across those pages that you might be able to read in a week or 2 weeks, you can basically take the best from someone's lifelong journey and apply it. And the association of the people you meet. Over the years, I've been fortunate and blessed, I suppose, to be able to meet some incredible people. Some of them are in business with us, some of them are not, but they're still mentors, doesn't matter. But you can glean from all of those experiences, and as long as you act on it, things happen, magic happens. But we're in a magical business. We're in incredible timing. The next 5 years, there's going to be huge adoption in crypto. There's already been quite a lot, but we're nowhere. I read recently that we're at the equivalent of the internet adoption as it was in 1999. So think about what transpired since 99 in terms of what's happened on the internet. So imagine if you could have gone back in time, position yourself in 1999, knowing what you know now, which things would you have got involved in? Amazon, Facebook, Google, blah, blah, blah. There's so many things. Well, we are there right now in terms of adoption in blockchain. So the world is our oyster. We're in a great opportunity. They're doing everything they can to make sure that they're going to be one of the big players over the next few years. They've embraced regulation. CZ, the owner and founder and CEO of Binance, did a podcast the other day. I think you saw it as well, Kalpesh, where he talked about the fact that regulation is coming. You've got to embrace it. They've gone from being highly unregulated to now being very regulated, and compliant with regulations is probably the more important thing. That's exactly what LeoPay, our major partner, is all about. And so we're in the right place at the right time with the right people. You just got to act on it. That's it. And forget. I don't focus so much on ranks. I focus more on working with key people and helping them help create their desire. And when that starts to be fulfilled, the ranks take care of themselves.
Brilliant.
Thanks, Cal.
Love it. Thank you. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Goran. Congratulations once again. I'm hot on your tails, man. You've inspired me
I know
to
you are.
even faster.
I know.
I'm on it.
Don't
Thank
worry.
you for that. Thank you for that.
That's a
You
given.
gotta-
That's done.
Yeah, you got to find what motivates you. I get motivated by that, right? I'm like, right, I've got to keep up with him. I've got to keep up. I'm not going to get left behind. That's my mindset. I'm not going to watch Goran gets crowned ambassador, me fiddling around with, 6 and 7s. Ain't going to happen, right? I'm going to be on your tail.
We've always been
that process.
trying to keep up with you. So I love hearing that. Thank you.
Love it. Absolutely
Thanks, man.
amazing. Thank you.
Cheers.
Next up, we've got Andrew. How are you, buddy?
Hello, very well, thanks. Absolutely great. Excellent call as always. And I just had to come on and mention my own personal story. Had a skiing accident around 2000, the year 2000. Broke my back, completely crushed my spine. The vertebrae was gone in one place. It was severed, and they said I would not walk again. And I'd listened to all sorts of cassettes. We're doing Herbalife many years ago in the 90s. Very good at selling it, but didn't get very far anywhere else because I love the health and nutrition. I've always done triathlons, that kind of thing. And I knew about the psychology, and there was one thing I could do, and that was write down affirmations over and over and over again. And putting the emotion and the belief behind that. Like you say, when that little mouse went through, he would have had the belief, the true belief, that he could get through there and get that food to survive.
Yeah.
And I remember when I managed to wiggle one of my toes, and that was it. My legs are getting stronger and stronger every day. I'm walking further and further every day. This was before I could even move my legs.
Wow.
And they reckon I was going to be the next Pope or something in the hospitals. And I was over in Toulouse for quite a while, then over in the hospitals here for a while. And I'd tell you what else it reminded me of. I'm sure most people here have seen the movie The Secret that came out around 2008. There's a guy on there, he got messed up a few other ways, who had a plane crash, and he mentioned a similar story, and I burst out in tears when I heard him, because I thought, that is so true. That is just like what's happened to me. And it is absolutely possible that you can do this if you have the right mindset behind you. And again, something that Goran just touched on in his sentences then, he said, you've got to act on it. You've really got to act on it. So I did wiggle my toe every day. Even if it's that tiny little baby step, you've got to do it. One other thing, Sharon, you mentioned, you said 1, 2, 3, 4, and you had to jump out of bed or not eat the cream cake or something. There's a great book called The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins, and she counts down. And there's a reason why you count down: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's horrible, honestly, because you just got to do it when you go blast off.
Oh, brilliant.
That's all, guys. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Absolutely wonderful. So glad that you've made a full recovery with your injury. And again, testament to the power of the mind, the body connection. And when you follow through with the disciplines every day and the actions, magic is on standby all the time. Thank you. Dr. Vinod, I'm sure you've witnessed lots of miracles like that in your profession. Go ahead and unmute.
Hi.
Hey.
Good evening, everybody. How is everybody doing?
Amazing, amazing. How are you?
Reaching so high on number 9, and I'm wondering when I'm going to reach number 3. But the interesting thing is, I always try and get one point whenever you say, about 4 or 5 weeks ago, you said, get 90 people in 90 days, and you're going to be wherever you want to be. So that is in my mind now. Today you say that 95% of the business fail. So I said, okay, that's fine. I'm going to be in this 5% and I'm going to succeed. So that's the second thing I've learned. I write it down in my book, and I remember, and let's hope I go forward.
Wow.
The only thing
Love
I
it.
don't have, which you have, which everybody has, is 27 years of experience in marketing. But doesn't matter. I have good analytical brain, and I solved that problem. Thank you very much.
Exactly.
Lovely,
Thank
lovely,
you.
lovely training.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the beautiful thing about these learning things is that you can collapse that 27 years into a handful of nuts and bolts, and you've learned everything that we've learned in a very short space of time. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
You bet. Sam, you're up next, buddy.
Yes, thank you so much, Kalpesh, for sharing
Hey.
amazing presentation and amazing the definition for the entrepreneurship. Believe me, since like in my studies, what I have believed that entrepreneur is someone who is always trying a new business, and like he is not in a one profession. So I have this I think I was incorrect today. You corrected me. And yesterday, when there was a state funeral, so at one place, so they were showing the Winston Churchill statue, and the Queen, she was passing over there, and they said he was the last guy with state funeral, and now the Queen. And at morning, I put myself that today it will be everybody will be not working, so I will make a lot of calls. But believe me, when I start watching, I forget how I spent a couple of hours just watching, same things repeating. And I was comparing myself. I remember Winston Churchill quote. Once he said, "We have lost the battle, but we have not lost the war." So yesterday I was saying to myself, I said, this guy, the way he's watching to hold this mob. So I was like putting myself in his shoes. Can you believe me that, yes, I have lost the battle, but not the war. And I took with that funnel, I don't know, I take that day as my remarkable day to recover myself, that yes, something like is pushing me to give me the energy. And yes, like your definition for the entrepreneurship, this is amazing. Before, like I'm not a loser, but when I think that, oh, I am going to be at that place, and then I think, what's the difference between me and other entrepreneur? And I'm a normal person, and I'm on a roller coaster. Sometimes I'm a height, sometimes I'm very down. So what's the difference between me and the other people? So today, really, you have knocked me. Tick, tick, tick. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Sammy. And last but not least, Sifuile. How are you, brother? Go ahead and unmute.
Oh, he's here.
Yes, unmute yourself. You're still muted.
Okay, done.
There we go.
How are you?
Wonderful.
How are you,
Awesome.
Thank you so much for the wonderful nuts and bolts, KP.
Thank you.
It's about awakening. Yeah, awakening us. It's about transforming us. It's about evolving us. It's an evolution of some kind. So KP, it was a revival. It was a resuscitation. It was re-engineering and reawakening. We are waking up. Africa is waking up. South Africa is waking up. The world is waking up. So KP, through you, you are God sent. You are God sent. Keep up the good work that you are doing. You are going to change so many lives. Things are changing, KP. Things are changing in my team in South Africa. You are going to see people moving on to the next rank, moving on. That's what we want. And your spirit will never land or leave you. You are with us every time. You are there with us. Thank you so much, KP. Keep up the good work. And for everyone in the community, Leadership KP, I'm with Leadership Vuiseka. We were from another call just before this call of yours.
Yeah,
I don't know whether she would like to say something, KP.
For sure.
words of appreciation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, champion. Did you say you're with the Vuseka?
Leadership, Vuseka.
Go ahead and unmute yourself, Vuseka. If you would like to share some words, you can. Vuseka.
Okay.
There you are. Hi.
Oh, thank you, leadership. I didn't know this one is.
There you
Can
go.
you hear me now, KP?
Loud and clear.
Oh, okay. Apologize for the camera. I want, because of my network is not stable. So
That's
I
okay.
want to show my camera. Okay.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate the.
Oh, I think we've got internet issues. Hello. All right. Well, it looks like the internet has got the better of her connection. But in the meantime, hey, I want to thank every single person that attended this Zoom. I want to thank every single person that make the effort to watch this Zoom after the event. And I hope that you are able to join the other Zooms in future live and in real time. And yeah, I want to just thank everyone for being part of this journey and locking arms with us. And let's go out, create some magic together. Let's create our own dreams, goals, and ambitions for ourselves. Be very clear about what we want from this and move in the direction that serves that higher purpose. Thank you to everyone. Much love always. And we'll see you back here, same time, same place next week. But also don't forget, every night of the week, we have Monday to Friday. And in fact, this week, starting Saturday, Samir is going to start doing presentations for people that want to plug in. So 6 nights a week, we will have at 7 p.m. UK time presentations. So minus Tuesday, actually 5 presentations and 1 training a week. So plug in and bring your people and take advantage of the opportunities that leaders are offering you to leverage their time and their effort so you can build your business. Thank you so much. See you soon. Ciao for now.